Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody with an invisible condition, no matter what that condition is, to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you do have a voice, you have a community, and you are never alone. Now, here on Invisible Condition, we get it. All right, I get it. We get it. Life can be tough sometimes, right? It can be downright miserable sometimes. It can just suck. Here's the thing. There's always hope. There's always hope. So if you feel today watching this like you have lost your hope, you have no idea where you put it, where'd it go? I don't know. If you've lost your hope, please send me an email at that email address. That's our nonprofit, Hydro with Hope. We operate in a world of hope around here. And if you've lost yours, I want to help you. So just shoot me an email. Just put hope in the subject line. If you don't want to put anything else, that's fine. That'll tell me that I should reach out. And I'll reach out. I'll give you a calendar link maybe, or we can go back and forth on email. But the point is, you got to have hope, man. If you've lost yours, I want to help you find it. So that's that. So I do want to talk to you just for a couple minutes about a couple sponsors, and then I can't wait to introduce you to our guests. So first thing is, I want to tell you, like, so many business owners out there, right? We're using Zoom, we're using Google Meet, we're using whatever. This is a new platform that I found, and it is amazing. So I'm a Zoom guy. I've been using Zoom for years. And the one thing I don't like about Zoom, well, there's a lot of things, but the main thing I don't like about Zoom is that when I put something on the screen for somebody to actually click on that I want them to like purchase, like for a webinar or something, and I'd like, here's my link, purchase this. I have to put it in the chat and pray to God that they actually click on it or don't lose it and actually use it, follow through, purchase the thing. With Pxch, you can actually make the screen you're on, you can share the screen with the person and then make it interactive. So bring them to your landing page, make it interactive. They can do it right then. It's so cool. And you can have up to like 500 people on a call. It's crazy. So, I don't know if that's of interest to you and you want an alternative to Zoom, scan that QR code. It'll bring you to a Zoom call that happens on a regular basis for a demo. You just see what you think. Let me know. The other thing is Hydro with Hope. That was the nonprofit that I was talking about. Oops, that's not the right one. There it is. QR code. This journal is something I want to get in the hands of every single person with hydrocephalus in the country. To start, we'll work on US first. It's a journal to walk people through that crazy experience of brain surgery from hydrocephalus. I've had 7 myself, and every single one of them was a little different. And so why not have a journal to document everything so that you've got something to talk about when you go back to the doctor, right? My wife and I love to speak on the subject of hope, especially surrounding hydrocephalus. So just scan the QR code. That is actually a donation link so that we can send these journals to people at no cost, so you can donate monthly, you can donate one time. We love you either way. So the other thing that I want to talk to you about, two more things. One, this is our new sponsor this season, and Jake Ellis is the guy that runs that company, Simple Gifting Solutions. And I tell you what, I'm a huge fan of Jake because he actually deals with a company called Cutco, which makes the best knives on the planet. And my parents, actually, a little story here. My parents have a set of Cutco knives that they bought in 1981. Okay, I was 4. I don't remember them buying them, but they're in the house. They're still in their house. They're still in their kitchen drawer. They still use them every day, and they're just as sharp as they ever have been. So if you want knives you'll never have to replace, even though, they'll replace them, they're guaranteed for life, but they're amazing. Get some. They're great. And the best part is, if you have a business, or like if you're like a realtor or somebody that like deals with the like customers and stuff, you want to give a customer a gift, you can actually engrave your logo onto the blade of one of these knives, give it to your customer. They'll love you forever. The best part is every purchase that you make will benefit Hydro with Hope. Jake is donating a percentage of every purchase to Hydro with Hope. So scan the QR code, knock yourself out. The last thing I want to talk to you about real quick is NRG, or Network Referral Group. That is our studio sponsor. We love NRG. NRG, I am a lifetime member of this networking group. It is a networking group that has 30 options to network every single week, 30 Zoom calls to jump on any and every week to network with people all over the country, all over the world. It is the purest form of networking I've ever seen. You show up, you get referrals, you go build your business. That's why I'm a lifetime member. That's why Mike and I have come to this partnership where he sponsored my studio. It's just an amazing symbiotic relationship that we've had. And honestly, NRG has ruined me for a lot of the networking groups. I don't go to very many other ones because I don't get what I need, which is referrals. If you want referrals and a never-ending source of that, NRG is the place to be. All right. So tell Mike I sent you. All right. That's enough of that. Let's get to our guest here. I can't wait for you to meet her. She knows what it means to not refuse to refuse to let an invisible condition define her future. Like there is no reason for an invisible condition to define anybody. Barbara Beckley is a Purpose and Visibility Strategist, international best-selling author, speaker, TV streaming producer, and CEO of the let's start over. Diamond Factor Network Broadcast Studio. But behind her success is a deeply personal journey of living with Polycystic Ovary Syndrome, or PCOS. I think I've only had one other guest that has even, I like, this is a very rare thing in my mind. I think I've only had one other guest talking about this. It's a condition that affects millions of women though, but it's really misunderstood. So we're going to dive in a little bit today. So today, Barbara's going to share how she turned years of health challenges into a life of purpose, confidence, and helping others step out of the shadows and into their own visibility, because, you know, that's her jam. So here we go. Let's bring Barbara on here and hit the ground running. There she is. Barbara, thank you so much for being here, man. I'm so glad we got this worked out, man. Let's do it.
I know it's been a while. Put it all on me. I'll put it all on me. For your grace.
It's all good. It's all good. We're both, I feel like some days we're both busier than one-legged man in a butt kicking contest. You know, it's all good. It's all right. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It's cool.
Well, you know what I appreciate about you, Jeff. I just don't, look at you as just, a person that I network with. But I want to say this out loud to everybody. I look at you as family, you and your wife. I call you the power couple. And ever since I met you two and you were on my show,
Yeah.
it just been like, wow. I said, boy, I should have met them a long time ago. They're so amazing. And you're doing so much, especially for this show. When you talked about invisible, conditions, I said, yes, I am so glad that you're putting this out here because there's so many people dealing with stuff and you really don't really understand what's going on with them. Yeah.
Totally. I know. I tell you what, man, I think God just dropped this idea in my head and kicked me in the butt and said, go, and don't argue with him, by the way, it's useless.
Yeah.
He's a very hard person to argue with. He wins every single time.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I think, what's the saying? If you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah.
Tell him your plans, and then let him laugh and roll around on the ground and stuff, and then we'll get up and get started.
Yeah, that's the part I like. He'll do what you got to do.
So I got a question I like to ask everybody that comes on the show. It's kind of become a thing. Like the last 2 years, I've asked everybody that's come on the show. So there's no wrong answer. So it's all good. I love all the answers I get. So on the days that are tough, because we all know there's tough days. On the days that you're like, I don't want to get out of bed. This sucks. I'm done. How do you still maintain hope?
It's one thing that I do, Jeff, because I look at myself as I have an accountability. And the accountability is, first of all, accountability to myself, to the gift that God put in me to help others. Yeah. So every time I feel one of those bad days or like today, I woke up, I was like, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to interview. I don't do nothing. I said all that, right? And then, my little self tapped on the shoulder. I said, you got accountability. You got accountability. There's other people that can't do half of what you can do. See, I had to look at that too. And I said, ooh, okay, let me get up. Some people can't even get out of bed. Some people can't even talk. They can't hear and listen. So I always remind myself of that. And then I remind myself that I always told everybody, I want to help others be the best they can be But if I'm sitting here, having my little, well, we'll say temper tantrum myself, or pity party, or whatever you want to call it, um, just because I have a headache or a stomach ache that I can do something about it, that's when I say, okay, I kick myself, like you said, and say, no, it's time. You got to do this. And
That's
then you know
good.
what? Mostly when you start, you just start with that, but once you start back into your purpose, that's when everything starts to kind of just say, okay, I was really thinking that a little while ago. Okay, I'm good now. I'm good now.
That's right. I love it. Awesome. See, no wrong answers. That's beautiful. I love it. So, so by the way, audience that's watching, wherever you're watching from, if you happen to be watching on one of these platforms that have that handy comment section, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, that's all you. If Barbara says something or I say something, you're like, whoa, that's not what I heard, or nope, I don't agree with that, or hey, amen, or whatever. If we say something you agree with, disagree with, whatever, that's what the comments are for. We love to hear from you. We love reading the comments, and we love to know where you're watching from. So let me know,
Yeah.
hit me. Let's do it. So, all right. So let's dive in here. So for viewers who have never heard of PCOS before, or maybe they have, but they don't really get it. They don't really know what it is. Can you just tell us what the heck it is, and when did this all start?
Well, it started way back. No, I'm just kidding. Well, it did. Now I think about it. It started when I turned the age of 9. And I was having, and I'm going to say some women things here, so I
Sure.
won't get too deep in it, but
I'll bring it on.
you said bring it on. And I was having problems really with my mental system, my mental, yeah, period.
There it is.
Let's just put it there.
I think the word you're looking for is menstrual.
Menstrual.
There it is.
Menstrual, there you go. And my mother was like, okay, what's going on? The doctor's like, what's going on? And they took some tests, and come to find out, they had to did an ultrasound on me.
Mhm.
And come to find out, on my ovaries, there were little bitty cysts, like little small little things on there. And when that happens, it's basically, instead of making like the eggs that's supposed to kind of develop, it was really developing more at the eggs, more so like little cysts.
Mm.
So right there was a trigger to say, okay, this is what my mother was thinking. That at my age, I was so young, I wasn't thinking about children at that time. I was just thinking about, okay,
Sure.
something's wrong with me. The doctor's taking the test, and we got to figure out what it is. That's what was in my mind.
Right.
In her mind, it was like, okay, can she have children? What's going on here? And ever since then, I always had a problem with that. I mean, when I was growing up more and more, he said, well, we give her some medication. And I always thought that it would go, I thought it was something that it can just be cured by medication and go away.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It didn't. Yeah. And just to give you a little bit more of the story, when I found that out, I had to take a lot of things because it deals with your hormones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. It deals with a lot with the hormones. Sometimes more. It even says that it's really so imbalanced that sometimes you have more men hormones than women, which causes hair growth in certain areas that's supposed to happen, and more weight gain that you get of the abnormal.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's one of the reasons why I kept saying, why am I feel like I'm gaining weight and seemed like I wasn't really eating like, some people, when a person sees, this is what I call the invisible, I love about the invisible condition.
Yeah.
When a person sees somebody that's heavy or, fat, or whatever they say, they're eating too much. They're probably eating all day. They're eating cheeseburgers, this and all that stuff. And I was the opposite, Jeff.
Yeah.
I was pushing. I was trying to push myself to eat. That's how bad it was for me. It was the
Man.
opposite, but I kept gaining weight. And then the older I got, is like more. And my weight was, going up and down, up and down. And the doctor said, after I went to Philadelphia, they said, well, that's part of you having this particular disease. And when he says disease, that's what told me right there, this is going to be sticking with me.
Yeah.
It's going to be sticking with me.
Mm. All right. Yeah. No. There's certain words you hear, you go, oh, this is a thing now. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And it was so, the part I didn't like too, because, I wanted to lose the weight, how it was
Sure.
getting on my body. And, with the hormones, it would give you a lot of headaches sometime. Then I would have heavy bleeding on a monthly
Oh, yeah.
basis would be more heavy than the average.
Hmm.
So the doctor, and sometimes it wouldn't pop up at all for 2 or 3 months. So I was just like a whole different. I was like, what is going on? My body is like, what
Now,
happened?
that
And
is a system you don't want to have be unpredictable. Like that's like seriously. I mean, I know people complain about, oh my God, here comes the period again, but like you want that to be
yeah,
like working like clockwork, man. You don't want that to be all over the place, unpredictable, like 2 months without it, and then here we go again, and you know.
and when it come when it,
Mm.
yeah, here we go again. When it came not just doo doo doo, it came like whoosh, like a flood, and I would just be in certain places that I didn't supposed to be when the flood came, and that was a whole new
Oh,
story. Yeah, it was.
yeah, no, that's not good.
Yeah, it
No,
was.
nobody likes that.
Yeah, to the point
Oh,
where I had to use, just like I said, getting a little detail here. I had to use towels. That's how bad the blood was coming down.
man,
And then
yeah,
some months, so went back to the doctor. I said, okay, can we do something about this? So
seriously,
he
come on,
put
doc.
he put me on. It's funny because he put me on birth control pills. I was like, okay, wait a minute. Why
I've
am I?
heard that though. That's
Yeah.
you know what? If it's because okay, so I'm just gonna say something real quick. I'm gonna step on a little tiny soapbox for a second. Doctors don't know everything. That's why they call it practicing medicine. They only have a certain number of tools in their tool belt, and if they can't nail it down to a condition they already have in their little guidebook, and they can't, more importantly, prescribe a medication for you
Yeah.
to treat these symptoms of the
Mhm.
condition that they found in their little book, they really don't know what to do with you. And so when it's something unique like that, I'm not surprised you were getting some shrugging shoulders and some, like, what do you think of this? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to go through that. I mean, that is rough. It's because you go to the doctor because you think they're going to know what to do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Instead of trying, okay, let's try this. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try. And in the midst of the whole thing
Oh,
you're trying, you're like, I'm going through. What's going on?
this
But
is, yeah, no way.
it's sad. It's sad that. But I have to say, moving through the journey of that, when I got much older,
Hmm.
and that's when I started thinking about children. And I went back to the doctor. I said, okay, I have this abnormal, menstrual system every month. I said, and I have this disease. What can we do?
Hmm.
So they said, well, let's take some more tests. He said, I know a lot of women, they even having that disease, some still are able to, have a child,
Hmm.
or to that certain point, maybe we can get some of the eggs that are maybe some good eggs. They said that we might find. So they did the tests, and then they did it. Well, they just had to test my ovaries. They tested everything to make sure uterus and everything was going okay.
Hmm.
And when they did that, they found something else in my uterus, and that was cancer cells.
Ooh, yeah,
Boom.
that's not.
So now we got the disease that we were trying to figure out to see, well, maybe, and then on top of that, hey, guess what? You got this too. You got
Bonus.
this.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Okay.
What you said?
So now you got a whole nother set of white coats coming in the room, telling you what they think. Uh,
I love how you put that because you're right. That was exactly what happened. The other white coats room,
yeah,
and
the white
oh,
coats are
but
coming.
yeah,
You gotta. Yeah.
and we
So
can tell you something.
yeah.
Like, So after that, Jeff, I did something that I always tell women as I talk about on platforms now. More, I want to talk about this in the health center. Please don't get in denial when it's talked about your health and your body. What Barbara J. Beckley did. This is when I tell people don't do what Barbara J. Beckley did. Barbara J. Beckley heard the word cancer, and she was kind of fed up with the whole disease thing that I had too with my ovaries. And I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not coming back to die. I don't want to go to the doctor no more. I'm just tired of this. I got to live my life. I got people to help. I was just thinking all this, Jeff. I just got work to do.
Right.
So what did I do? I didn't go to the doctor for a year and a half.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now this is bad. He told me about the cancer. He said about I said, you know what? Looks like I'm not gonna have children. I mean, that's put all in my mind. I'm just done with everything, the
Yeah.
medication, all that. Well, things got worse for me after a year and a half because the bleeding started even worse, and then I started getting cramps, and
Yeah.
it's just, the whole thing just went flip flop. Went back to the doctor. He said, "Oh, because my doctor, me and him been knowing each other for a while, so this is how we talk." He said, "Is this Barbara Beckley? Is she back?" I said, Yes, I'm
What's
back.
your name again? Yeah. What's it?
Do I know you? I said, okay, okay, doctor. I get it.
All right.
I get it. I said, well, I need your help. He said, I know.
Yeah.
So he took another test. When that year before they found the cancer cells, it was like maybe a 20%. So maybe they could have helped whatever. Well,
Sure.
me waiting for a year and a half, Jeff. Me, Barbara J. Beckley, went from 28 to 99% cancer cells. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I had to, at that time, I went straight from the doctor's appointment to the emergency to
Hmm.
surgery. And the
Yep.
surgery was they had to do a full blown hysterectomy on me
Hmm.
where they took out everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is, I know your listeners are going to be like, why is she smiling? And I'm going to tell you why I was smiling after that happened because I was like, the ovaries are gone, the disease is gone. Yes! I,
Right.
I can lose weight like everybody else. I don't have to like exercise 5 times more than every person. I was just like having this epitome and I was happy. And then the doctor came in and he's like, okay, Barbara. I said, doctor, I mean, I hate that, I know I can't have children. I mean, I kind of got through that and I understand that what you had to do. You saved me. Thank you so much for the cancer cell. He said, yeah, he said, we basically got rid of all the cancer. It didn't get in your lymph nodes, so we don't have to do no radiation. So I was like, yeah.
Nice.
And I said, and the disease, the over, I'm just like, let's talk
That's
about
got to be gone too, right? Yeah.
like, no, that's not gone. I
All
said,
right.
well, wait a minute, you forgot to take, this is what I told him, actually. I said, you forgot to take the ovaries out. He's like, no, just because the ovary's not there, the disease is still in your body.
Mm,
So I went from to,
yeah. Yeah. Come on.
but you know what he told me? He said, well, think of it like this. You're still alive and you're cancer free. I said, yeah, yeah, you're right. You're
I mean, yes. Yes.
right.
That's nice and all. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate that.
He's right. He's
And bonus, I still have this nonsense to tell you.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
see, because here's the thing. Like one thing I will say that is kind of a good thing to come out of this is that you knew what it was. Kind of like you didn't go years without knowing what it
Yeah.
was too
Yeah.
much, right? I mean, PCOS, at least you knew, like, okay, now this is what we're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Like, here we go, you know? Some people with PCOS
Um,
spend years looking for
yeah.
answers,
Yes.
Um, what,
Yeah.
so now that you just had the one thing to focus on,
Mhm.
um, then what?
He said then what? So then, and then also with having PCOS,
Mhm.
as you get older, it
Mhm.
can kind of deal with your blood levels.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
And
okay.
they told me out of the percentage of women that have this disease can either, get high blood pressure that's going to stay or get to the point of raising your blood levels to the point where you could become a diabetic.
Oh,
And
okay.
I found out last year I have type 2 diabetic. I'm a type 2. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so that
Well,
adds on to the lovely disease that I thought was going away.
right.
It's like, yeah.
Come on now. Uh, well, so, but you're still here, first of all, and number two, you're kicking butt and taking names
Thank you.
all over the world. So, uh, I have a QR code sitting here that we haven't talked about yet, which is part of that, kicking butt and taking names all over the world. When people scan this QR code, which I highly recommend you do, by the way, everybody, what are they going to find there, and how do they get in touch with you so they can learn more about all the amazing things you do?
Well, with the QR code, I have just to talk a little bit about who I am, so you get to know who I am and my
Yeah.
story, and why I am so. It's like a mission, and well, it is a mission to make people understand that they have a voice and to put that voice on video. So I work
Mhm.
with a lot of people, not with just to having their show like Jeff has here. He has this amazing show here, but understand how to really brand it, how to understand what your mission is with the show, and understand it's a tool to have a door open for whatever you're doing in life. You know,
Yeah.
I tell people you just don't do things just to say, oh, I have this, or somebody said, oh, you need this. It's more so of no, why are you doing it? Where you're trying to go with it, what is your goals? And that's what I work with people. And not just their own TV show, but anything in general that has to do with visibility. You know, just like right now we're talking, you know, you need to show up. You need to know how to show up. You need to, and you need to, when you're on different shows, maybe certain shows are not for you. Maybe other shows that are for you, and you just don't know how to reach them. But you have to learn how to get to that point. So those are the kind of things that I help people with, and then I do also I always throw in there the video editing. I do commercials for people, you know, all that stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
But the biggest thing is making sure people know that they have a voice, no matter what situation is going on in their life. See, Jeff, I couldn't label when I was dealing with this disease and dealing with the cancer, and
Yeah.
there's some other health stuff, but you know, we're not going to go down the laundry list.
Yeah.
But you can't let that define you. You can't let it define you. And that's why, and you know, thank you so much, Jeff. You always say she's kicking butts and stuff. And I'm so glad that you see that because I want to do that for others because we got to lead by example, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can, yeah, it's, what's the saying I hear all the time? Launch and adjust, right? You got to launch first. You can't adjust if you're not going somewhere, right? Like you can't steer a parked car, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you gotta figure out where you're going and then you figure out how to get there. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I love it. So if anybody has had trouble finding their voice, I didn't think honestly, you know what? It's funny. It brings up a thing in my head right now. I've got a thought that just popped into my mind. I didn't think I had a story. Like when I first talked to Julianne, when I first talked, you know, I was introduced to, you know, this whole TV world and I don't believe in random introductions ever. I mean, you know, there is no such thing as a for chance, you know, introduction. It's always, you know, ordained in my mind. And so I met Julianne at a conference, you know, and it was like, well, here, tell her your story. And she said, well, tell me your story. And I said, I don't have a story. I thought every kid had 10 surgeries by the time they were 10 years old, you know? I was like, that's not normal, you know? Because my parents did a really good job of making everything feel like I'm just another kid, you know? And, you know, they didn't turn me into Bubble Boy or anything, you know? So I was just pretty normal. But then at the same time, the double-edged sword is I didn't think I had a story. And so when she asked me what my story was, I didn't know what to tell her. And so I kind of mentioned, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. And then when I said 7 brain surgeries, she said, whoa, back up. We're going to talk about that for a second. Maybe that's unique, you know. And then that's what became this show, you know. But you never know where you're going to run into those people, you know. And it's I didn't, you know. And now, of course, yes, I tell my story all over the world. You know, whether it's from stage or on TV or on, you know, virtual or whatever, you know, it's awesome. But you got to learn that. And everybody out there needs to learn it too, because everybody has a story.
Yeah. And just going back to what you said earlier before I came up, you're talking about hope and you have your journal. And I want to express again, please, put that QR code back up. I'm now telling you what to do. They need to get that journal.
Yeah.
Because all of our stories give people hope. They're waiting for you to say something so they can say to themselves, wait a minute, I have something similar, or I've been dealing with something like that. I didn't know it was this disease maybe, or maybe I need to go to the doctor and check this out because it might be something that I didn't even realize what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then not even having a disease or whatever, but just something that you might be dealing with where you feel like, I'm the only one in this boat. Am I really the one that's dealing? What's going on here? I'm depressed about this or whatever. And they hear a story of yours, Jeff. I mean, when I first heard your story, you're just like the miracle, epitome of a miracle right here, right now. And I was like, what? When you was like, oh yeah, I had these, and you know, everybody, you know, if you know Jeff, oh yeah, I had 7 surgeries, I had this, and I said, Jeff, take this story in. Don't you know how powerful this is?
Yeah, I like to say on you know, I'll just say, yeah, so you know, so I've only had 7 brain surgeries, you know, only 7. Because other people with hydrocephalus have had, I know, in fact, I had an amazing woman on the show about a year and a half ago, named Tony, and she's about 5-6 years younger than me, and she's had 27 brain surgeries because of hydrocephalus. There is somebody that works with the Hydrocephalus Association that is, I think she was in her 30s at the time that I heard, and she has had over 100 brain surgeries to treat this crazy thing. So that's why I say what I say, because in 49 years, I've only had 7. I could have had a lot more. And so I know it sounds weird to say it like that, but it could be worse, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
you just dealing with 7. I don't know. See, and like I said, you don't. Well, the saying goes where God's not going to put so much on you that you can't bear, right? I'm going to tell you right now, I believe that I wouldn't be able to get through what you went through and the 7 surgery. I mean, I had a surgery last year and I was crying like a baby. So I know that. Believe me, you have showed us you're a warrior. Like, oh,
Hey, it's all good, man. Not without God's help, man. I tell you what, without. I'm
yeah.
telling you, that's why I tell people, you know, if you don't have hope, man, you're dead in the water already, man.
Yes, really.
You gotta have that hope.
Yeah.
And I know where my hope is found, you know, and so I'm not shy about it. You know, we talk about it on the show all the time. So,
Mhm.
but that's the only reason that you're looking at me and I'm being able to do this is because
Yeah.
of that hope. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So I thank you for your kind words, and I also say thank you, Jesus, for
Yeah,
what you've done and for what you've enabled me to do and allow me to do every single day. So,
that's it.
um,
That's
yeah, bring it on.
it.
So,
Don't start me. I will go there.
hey, I got no problem with that, man. If people had a problem with that, I'd have been off the air a long time
That
ago.
would, yeah,
We talk about Jesus a lot on this show. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
that's really.
Yeah, we can go there. So, well, I don't, man. I totally lost track of what we were talking about. I don't even know what we were doing.
We
So,
just giving God glory. That's all. We
what do
just
we? What do we go? Where do we go next here?
well, we're talking about hope, and we're talking
Yeah,
about stories, and we're talking a little bit about me. So I just want to, just again, just to emphasize, with me dealing with this disease and going back to what your show is about, invisible conditions, is never, make sure you hear people's stories because, like I said before, a lot of times they look at the outside and they don't really know you and they think certain things that they don't really understand what's going on with that person, like I grew up, I was heavy through most of my life. I mean, I lost weight here and there,
yeah,
but people just thought I just ate too much. Stop eating, that's what they would say, stop eating there. Why you eat all that food? And I'm like, what all food? I don't even eat half a sandwich sometimes, so I had to feel like I had a battle with people. And then I stopped. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna battle this anymore. I got to just deal with me and worry
yeah,
about my health, right? And that's what I want to tell people. Don't let people demeanor you because they don't know. They need to know the stories behind the story,
yeah.
basically. So that's what that's
Right.
why this Invisible Conditions is so important show, because you talk to people that from the outside they look whatever. I mean, if I look at Jeff right now, I would have never thought all the stuff that you had to bear and deal with. People look at me, they only think that, oh, she just losing it up and down, she doesn't know how to stop eating. So, but if you
Right.
know the stories, then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Yeah.
Well, it's a classic example of the person that parks in the handicap zone and that right, they got the plates or the placard or whatever. It's like
And
it's legal,
run.
like they're not, stealing. They have the plates. The guy, and then the man or woman or whoever gets out of the car and kind of walks into the store and and then walks out with the groceries and puts them in the truck and drives away. And everybody goes, that jerk stole somebody's handicap pass. They didn't need it. But
Yeah.
what they don't see is that maybe before they left for the store for 2 hours, they took a nap and took an extra dose of their medication so they could feel normal enough to go to the store and not get stared at. And then they get done at the store and they go home, they pass out. That's the only thing they do all day. Like nobody sees all that. They
Yeah.
just see this and form a judgment. And
Yeah.
so that's what I love about what you're doing, and what you have not let stop you is the possible judgment of others going, why don't you just put the fork down? But it's not that. That's not the thing. And so you go, well, you know what? I can't control what they say, all I can do is my attitude is the only thing I have 100% control over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move forward
Yeah.
in spite of,
Mhm.
and that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So how did you overcome all that though? Like, what was your main driving force to say, you know what, I'm not paying attention to that, I'm
Yeah.
moving this way?
Well, we kind of talked a little bit about it, and you said we can say it, which I'm loving that part.
Bring it.
It
Yeah.
took my knowing my identity, and my identity is a child of God first. My identity is, I'm His child, and I
Yes.
had to go back in the Bible and see what that meant. I had
Mm.
to read the scriptures and see, okay, if my identity is God and Jesus, then I'm doing the opposite right now. I'm thinking the opposite right now. So let me go back. Let me see who I am first, and then from there it just trickled on with that took me on that road
Yeah.
to say, okay, who are you first, Barbara, before anything, even before your name, even before your name. So that's what took me to that point, and then also back to accountability. What I said earlier.
Yeah.
I am accountable not for just myself. It's not all about Barbara J. Beckley. It's about everybody out there that needs to probably hear this, or maybe get into, I get into their world, or just hopefully this will help people hear this story to say, you know what, I can live
Yeah.
without having this be my label. Your name is not, see, I told somebody the other day, I said, your name is not cancer. Your name is not PCOS.
No.
That's not you. It's a condition that you just say, okay, let me deal with this, let me manage this, or I say let God manage it, and then we're done. We got to keep
Right.
moving.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love that. That's why I don't say I have. I say I was born with.
Yes.
I don't say I have, because I don't claim that. I don't possess
Mhm.
the
Words are powerful.
hydrocephalus does not possess me. I don't possess it. I don't claim it. It doesn't claim me. I was born with that condition.
Hmm.
Yes, that's what they diagnosed me with at 2 weeks old, and that's been the result has been many surgeries over the years. But
Hmm.
I don't live in that. I'm fully healthy.
No.
If God sees fit that I have to have another brain surgery someday, then I trust Him. That's fine. But as far as I'm concerned, man, I'm calling it at 7. Seven's a good number anyway. It's the number of
Yes,
completion anyway.
complete.
We're
Yes.
done. Seven's a good round number. It's the number of completion. I'm
I
done.
love
I'm complete.
sevens.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So
And then just to add another thing, like you said, some things we deal with to be a testimony to others. So I feel like that I can be if I can be a testimony to others, and every time I say, Barbara, how did you do it? How do you deal with that, and just the weight and all that, and then going through all this stuff with you didn't know what it was. I said, him. I said I have to give him the glory, because if I don't, I'll get in trouble, and I'm not. I got too much to say up there to that I did when I was younger and stuff. I don't want to have like a whole laundry list up there when Judgment Day comes. Be
yeah.
like, she
Wait a
said,
minute. What about this? Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. How many pages do you have there? Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Nobody
just sit
wants
here,
that.
and Jeff, you'll be behind me. Oh my, Barbara, really?
Like the coupon lady at the store. What, is she gonna be done soon yet? Come on. Are we done yet? Moving on. Uh,
More coupons, more coupons.
crazy. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's see. I, you know, I think this is cool because you and I definitely have a commonality in that one of the things I realized the other day is my show now that's been on the air a little over 3 years, the new show that I'm getting ready to launch in a month or two, named 6 Degrees of Impact.
Yeah.
That one, and the nonprofit Hydro with Hope, like all of it,
Mm.
all of it. I was playing with Chat GPT and Claude and all the, and we were looking for some marketing stuff. And it's like, look, everything about all of that is hope. That's all it is. That's what it revolves around, is hope. That's why I talk about it so much everywhere I go, is because that is one of the strongest things you can have. And that's what's carried me through 49 years on this planet so far.
Mm. Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's what carries you, because you can tell, like, when you see everybody go check out her network, it's amazing, and go and see what she's doing there, because she's got some shows and some hosts and some stuff on there that you're going to want to see. You got to check it out. And it shows what you're doing. So how do you
you.
How do you maintain that every day? Like what is the or and well, and also what are you looking for? Like who are you looking for right now? If somebody said, I want to be a part of what Barbara's doing, how would you, who are you looking for and how would they get in touch with you about that?
Well, I'm looking for individuals that just want to just gain that visibility in a different aspect, not just the regular getting on social media, putting some posts out there and hoping I'm gonna put it
Right?
this way, that somebody, like, oh please. There's a way to I always use the word strategic a lot. I've been using it a lot for the last 2 years. You
Yeah.
have to strategically position yourself the way you want to see, not what others think you should do, or not what others you see doing. Just, Jeff is doing a tremendous job with this show. He's under a fabulous network, E360 TV, because I used to be under that. So I mean, there's no, they taught me. They got me to the point where I
Yeah.
pushed and moved forward. But you have to make sure it's in your lane and what you should be doing. Don't look at the other person and say, well, maybe you're not that other person. Jeff, no one can be Jeff except Jeff right now. Nobody can be Barbara Beckley except Barbara. And that's a wonderful thing because that means we're unique, but we need to position ourselves in that uniqueness. So I'm always looking for individuals, business owners, entrepreneurs, speakers, authors, to say to yourself, okay, how can I uplift myself, not just the visibility, but in all the areas that's really still going with my mission, my goals, and what I
Yeah.
need to do. So that, I love working with people, and I work with people that I have like a range. I have people that's been doing pod or whatever for a while, podcast or a TV show, and they just
Hmm.
want to get that uplift and get some, the things that I kind of show them and coach them. Then I have people that just said, Barb, I never did a podcast. I don't even know how a camera works. Where do I get a mic? Mic? Do I get I mean, all that. And just to see them, I'm telling you, Jeffrey, you know this because I know you coach and talk to people. When you know that they didn't know something, and then a month later, after you kind of work with them, not giving yourself the glory, but just saying you helped them out, and then you see where they went from there to that point. I have a person, they've been on for a year, never did a show in their life. Now they're in 1 year, they have at least 100 episodes and
Nice.
interviewing people. They didn't even
Yeah.
want to touch an interview. They said, I don't know how to interview anybody. I said, we're gonna work that. Now they're like, okay, who's next? I want to get another person interview. I mean, they're just all engulfed in it. So yes,
Man, I
yeah.
love that.
It's
Well,
the
that's kind of my story coming into this whole world too, man. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I I mean, obviously God not lined it up perfect,
yeah,
and but when I came into this, I had been a private investigator, process server, and armed security for 12 years before
okay.
this. I didn't know what I was doing. I came into this, I was like, the only reason I'm doing this is because I believe that the introduction I got to Julianne was divinely appointed, and I'm going
Yes,
to roll with that, and I'm going to follow that direction, follow those open doors until they close. And
yes,
that's the only reason I'm still here. But I didn't know what I was doing. That's why I'm glad that there was education, that there was that within a
yeah,
month I was like, okay, I've got the camera, I've got the mic, I've got the lights, I think I know what I'm doing. I can
mhm.
push the buttons. Oh my gosh. It was like, correct me if I'm wrong, see if you, can you relate to this? I felt like somebody flew me up to about 10,000 feet, kicked me out of the plane and said, build your parachute on the way
Yeah,
down. Good
yeah,
luck.
yeah. Like, okay, no, no, no,
Okay,
no.
okay. You know, I still feel like that some days.
Me too.
So,
Me too.
it's like, where's my parachute, man? I thought it was right here.
Yeah,
So yeah. Um, but here we are, right?
here we are.
This is the
We made
beauty
it.
of
We made it.
entrepreneurship and
Yes, it
doing it
is. It is.
and getting out there
Yes.
and putting yourself out there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Um,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
So
And it's always too, I love Jeff, is just the forever learning part of it. I always tell people if you're not learning every day, then why? Why? I mean, I told people, I said, well, if I'm not learning anymore, if I'm not helping people, whatever I'm supposed to do, then I need to gain my wings now because it doesn't make
yeah,
sense. What my purpose is. Yeah, I always say that to myself. So I learned from today, I learned some things from you. I mean, it just, and see, but you have to be open. You have to be open to that. See, a lot of people close a little bit when they say, well, I'm an expert. I know this. Oh, I've been doing that for years. I've been doing things for years too. And I'm still, if still like, oh, in fact, okay, you're going to like, I hopefully like this story in your audience. Learning, right? So
yeah,
last week I went grocery shopping because I had to, just get food in the house.
yeah. It's important. Sure.
And I always look for health, I would get my salads, which I had to lay low for the salad because the lettuce thing happened. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, it's like whatever. So I'm looking around, I'm by the fruit section, and I'm just thinking, okay, Barbara, what do you want? You know how sometimes you just stand here, you be thinking to yourself or talking to yourself? Well, talk out loud. Sometimes people think you're crazy. Just don't answer yourself. But so I was talking, I was like, okay, well, I don't know what to get. So this little 5-year-old comes up, Jeff. 5-year-old,
Okay.
cute little boy comes up. He's like, he looks at me. He's like, hi. He's like, hi. And I was like, okay, where's their parents? That's the last thing I'm looking at. I said, I see the little
Right?
boy. Where's the parents?
Person's unattended. Who belongs to this
Yeah, I was
person?
like, who, but then I seen, then he was like spinning and stuff. You know, 5 years, they're just going to be happy. Yeah, sometimes we need to take from them and learn from them, right?
Right.
So he's just, just saying, hi to me. So I said, hi. So I'm still thinking what I'm going to get. And he points. And I was like, so I'm looking at him pointing, grapes, get grapes, get grapes.
Sure.
He said new get grapes. And when he said new, because the guy that was coming, the people that worked there, they were putting the new grapes in there. They were,
Yeah.
so he said new get grapes. And I was like, you're right. Let me get
All
some
right.
grapes.
Sure.
See, 5-year-old.
There you go.
So never underestimate anybody to forever learning and from where it's coming from.
Right.
I mean, we can
Yeah,
go
I
in the
know.
and find a lot of things where you'd be like, "What? It came from?"
Man,
So,
I don't even like the word expert. Like I remember the first time I remember hearing expert was that whole Hurricane Katrina thing where
oh
all
yeah,
the experts would come to town
Mhm.
and say, this is what we should do. And, most of the experts had never lived in a flood zone in their life, but they were experts, right? So
Yeah.
I heard a speaker one time tell me, you know what an expert is, right? I said, no, what? He said, well, X is an unknown quantity, and that spurt is a drip under pressure. There's your expert right there. So there it is. That, just in case you were curious, everybody, that's what the meaning of an expert is. So yeah.
Something else. See, something else. Wow.
That's right. I said it out loud. That's right. Um, so anyway, oh man, I'm telling you, so I don't ever want to be called an expert. You can call me an authority in the industry. You can call me a whatever, but I don't like the word expert.
Well, now after you explain that to me, I'm not liking it either. Like,
I didn't mean to spoil everybody's
yeah, I'm like,
appetite for that word, but it's
I'll find some other words for me. You don't have to do expert.
yeah, let's have some variety, people. It's like everybody calling themselves a coach, like
Yeah,
let's
that's
come up with some better terms now. Come on.
I don't even want to say coach. I'm like when you said that because it's like everybody's a coach.
I
I'm
know.
like, okay, I need to.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what, man. We got about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes left. That time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
And
Thank you,
I
Jeff.
feel like we blinked and we're already here. So, so when you look, if you had somebody in front of you that was, I mean, I know you were diagnosed with this pretty young, this PCOS stuff. If you had somebody in their 20s sitting in front of you right now and said, I don't know what to do. What do I do, Barbara? I got this diagnosis. I have no idea what it means. What do I do? What would you tell them? What would be the first thing you'd tell them?
Well, the first thing I would say is you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
I had to say it to myself. I mean, I had to really just get straightforward and say you're still here, and there's a reason why you're here. Like we just said, you don't make that your life. That is not your title. That disease or whatever it is. I mean, I came last year, with finding out that I'm a diabetic, had my gallstone taken out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not my gallstone,
Gallbladder.
Gallbladder. And then found out that I had blood clogs in my lungs, all in a 3-month period.
Whew.
And I had to still sit back, Jeff, and say, I'm still here.
Right.
So if anybody is dealing with that, your stories are not stories of strength. Like I always said, stepping stones of strength to get you through, to show that I'm going to say that God works in your life because there's still a purpose for you. And don't let it, like I said, make that your understanding of your life. That is not your voice. That's what I want to say. And then look for the voice within and say, okay, now that I'm dealing with this, how do I, and I use this a lot, Jeff, flip it. How do I flip this?
Nice.
into something that is going to be more positive, more hope for people. That this is not my story. You know, I had that. I think that's why I went denial with cancer, because I didn't want that to be my story. Because at the time I didn't understand, because all I heard
Right.
was cancer. And you know, you hear the people with cancer, you're like, oh my God, it's a death sentence. You know, people put it as a death sentence, but it doesn't have to be.
Mm-mm.
And how long have you been on this in this world? What are you doing while you're here? That's the whole thing. If I'm here 50 years, 60, 70, 10 years, whatever, what are you doing while you're here to make that difference? So, yeah, that's what I would tell somebody. You're
I
here.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, before I hosted this show, I know I'm not done yet. Believe me, I
Oh.
know this is just the start, and I can't wait to see what happens. I'm 3 years in, going on forever here, but I just remember at my last gig as a private as an armed guard at a private Christian school for several years before I got here.
Hmm.
And I'd walk around that school, and I'm praying. I'm like, God, I love doing this. I love this. This is a dream gig. I absolutely love it. Because in school, all I wanted to do is walk around the halls and talk to people. I didn't want to sit in class, right? So now I got paid for 7 years to literally walk around the halls and talk to people. It's great. It's fantastic. But I was like, there's got to be something bigger. You did not save me out of all these surgeries and put me here and set me aside from all the crazy side effects for me to be working here. Like, I love it here, but please tell me you've got a bigger purpose than this, you
Hmm.
know? But I had to wait, and I had to wait, and I had to wait. And that's the right. It's either yes, no, or wait, you know?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so those are the only answers I think he ever, those are his
Yes.
only answers: yes, no, and wait.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So
Hmm.
and here you are, and here I am. Here we are.
Yeah.
So, no.
Never would have thought I've been, I mean, I was the shyest person when I was growing up, Jeff. I mean, I was so shy. People hear me now and stuff, they're like, stop lying. I said, I'm not lying. I'm really not. Talk to the people back in the day. But I wouldn't talk to no one. I wouldn't network with anybody. I wouldn't know. You see me on a stage or just in person talking to you? No.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's how I was because I was kind of enclosed in myself. But
Yeah.
I am so glad that, you know, that happened where I knew I didn't want see because I think it was really determined. I know with time that I've seen so many people dealing with you shouldn't do this or
Yeah.
you shouldn't be seen or who do you think you are doing something like that or opening up a business you don't even know that. I just got so
Yeah.
tired of hearing that noise, not just in my own ears to people telling me, but
Yeah.
other people that were telling other people. And I was
Yeah.
like, the flipping method again. I said, okay, either you're gonna sit there, Barbara, and keep listening to it and just go down your little road of, depression or whatever you want to call it, or you're gonna do something about it. What are you gonna do? And
Yeah.
and I said, yeah, you're right. I need to give hope, as you said. So
Love
yeah,
it. That's what we're here for.
that's
Love
what
it.
we're here for.
Bring it on. So, well, I tell you what, we are out of time. Unfortunately, time flies, and here we are. So, but oh my God, Barbara, I'm so glad we did this. I'm so glad we
Yes.
got this lined up. And thank you so much for your story and your vulnerability and just being real with your
Anytime.
audience. And this is not the last time you're going to see Barbara. I promise. And thank you. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you, Jeff.
Absolutely. All right, man. I tell you what, I know you guys probably get sick of me saying this, but I learn something every single time. And today was no exception. I learned something every single day. Um, I don't know. It's just awesome. I love doing this. This is my new dream gig right here. So thank you for watching and allowing me to do this. It's awesome. Thank you. So, no matter where you're watching from, if you're here, if you're there, if you're Facebook, this is better. That's smaller. There we go. See, now you can see them down there. So Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. I mean, I hope you were commenting and shouting from the mountaintops, man, because Barbara's amazing. So, and all that information, all her social media, all that website, that QR code, all that's going to be in the show notes so you can reach out to her and she can reach back. So join us for our next episode, which will be on Tuesday, August 18th, where we'll have another amazing story and get to have some more fun for another hour, and you get to be here with us, which is awesome. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you all, and have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.